Hola a todos y bienvenidos a Spanish by Andreca. Hi everybody and welcome to Spanish by Andreca. So today what we'll be discussing is tips for learning Spanish. It can fall for any other language in general, but here we focus on Spanish because here you know that we live, love, and we breathe Spanish. So we're going to start. Okay, so the first tip that I personally have, and these tips I can definitely say that they've been my personal tips for over the years now. And the first tip I would say for you is to listen to Spanish music. That's the first thing I do personally. I listen to a lot of Spanish music. When you do that, it stimulates your listening skills for learning the language, hearing the language, listening to the sounds of the language on a regular basis. So when you play the music, don't just per se listen then, okay? You pop up the lyrics. You listen first and then you say it with the lyrics. You try to mimic what they're saying. You try to get your speech accustomed to how they speak, right? Alright, I'm going to give you an example. We're going to play Quiero Repetir by Osuna and J Balvin.
Quiero repetir, al oído te quiero decir, como tú lo haces otra no hay, sola se comienza a desvestir, suave.
You listen, you keep listening. You listen to how their words mesh together when they sing or even speak. So just listen and you try to do it. Así que debemos experimentar. Carita de ángel, labios para besar. Tiene algo especial que me lleva a pecar. Etc. I'm just saying that you just try to listen first and then you feel the rhythm of it and then you try to go with the song, go with the flow of the song and try to pronounce words just like them. Because that's the key to this. I'm trying to get to pronounce words like how they pronounce words. You don't pronounce it based on your language that you speak. You don't pronounce it based on English. You don't pronounce it based on French, Japanese, Chinese. You pronounce it based on how you hear them pronounce their word and you try to follow up with them. Tip 2, guys. Tune into television programs that are in Spanish. That's basically it. Because let me explain. For example, if you have cable TV and there are Spanish channels, please tune into it because it really helps. You see, when you're walking around in the house regular, right? The TV is on, it's in Spanish. You're not paying much attention, but you're hearing it, right? Your ears continue to become accustomed. It's just like that. And now when you're actually paying attention to television programs that are in Spanish, especially the commercials, you tend to hear commercials over and over, so it's like a listening practice. Each time you see the commercial, you listen to it, you pick out words that you probably hear and that you know, and then you hear the commercial over and over again over a time period, right? So each time you listen to it, your listening gets better and better, right? So it's a really good suggestion, and I found that out on my own really quite recently too. Quite recently, guys, that I've been doing for my own self, and it's really been helping because you're hearing over and over the same commercials. Anyways, so you have news next. You have BBC Mundo. That's MUNDO, BBC Mundo, BBC Mundo. That you can also watch. Tune into things that have to do with news because you're learning Spanish and you're trying to grasp it. But at the same time, you have to see that you're trying to get to understand the culture, get to understand what's going on in other countries, in your Spanish-speaking countries that you're so fascinated about, you know. Study a word per day, okay? Study a word per day. It's really helpful, and you can write it down. You can do it on a flashcard. You can, anything that really helps you, and study at least then a word per day, okay? And that's where my fifth advice comes in. That's where my fifth tip comes in now. this is where it comes in conjunction with your dictionary. Don't let anybody tell you that your dictionary cannot be read, okay? Okay. You can have a small dictionary. You can have a really small one that you can take around with you, okay? You have this, that's one type. You can get bigger dictionaries. I currently have 3 that I use. Get bigger dictionaries as well, because what you find is that these ones have a bit more information and is well explained, especially with examples with each word. And so that's the type of books that you really want, books that teach you, that gives you more information, okay guys? So have your dictionaries, and you can even pick out the 1 word a day from your dictionaries and you jot it down. Next is to observe your objects around you. Do not look at your objects the same after you begin engaging with Spanish. Don't look at them the same. Do not. It's not the same. If you see a pen, it is not just a pen. It has 2 names for you now. El bolígrafo, which is specific to a ballpoint pen, right? Okay. And also have el lápiz, which is a pencil. And you look at other objects, you see a book, el libro. So you try to be interactive with your surroundings. Try to be interactive with your surroundings, okay? It helps. Follow persons on social media. I am not telling you to go follow no stranger, okay? I am not telling you to follow any stranger. What I'm just saying is that follow persons on social media that seem helpful, okay? You have artists out there, you have musicians, that is Spanish musicians. You have Osuna, my favorite. You have Wisin, Maluma, you have J Balvin, Becky G. There are so many Spanish artists out there that you can follow. Those are just examples. I'm not going to tell you to go follow any personal persons, or but I'm just saying follow persons that utilize Spanish more than probably English, okay? Because you do have Spanish speakers. My apologies. We do have Spanish speakers that speak both English and Spanish, but try to look for the ones who you see and notice to speak a lot more Spanish. That will be helpful to you. And next, I would say practice with others. Practice with persons who are, I wouldn't say on your page only, but practice with persons who have the interest in Spanish as well, and who you believe can really help you and help each other at the same time. Okay, so you practice with your friend. So today let's practice numbers, tomorrow let's practice alphabets, let's do this, let's do that, and you get involved with your friends. And sometimes most persons learn a lot easier that way when their friend is more interactive with them in terms of Spanish, learning it and so forth. And my very, very last advice or tip is basically a challenge. It's a challenge, and I've done it, and I'm proud of myself. Change your phone into Spanish, okay? I've been telling a lot of my friends to do that, and I hope that they eventually do, but it's a big challenge, and it is a good challenge as well. Why? Because you're changing the device that you use a lot for basically most of your day. Change it into Spanish. It gets you to see it and can't run from it, unless you just decide to change back your phone into English or whichever language that you speak. Why? Don't do that, please. It's a challenge and it helps. It really helps. But if you're in doubt, you just grab a dictionary and you check. And as long as you have your back button, the back button on your phone or the home key, you'll be fine. So just don't press on anything that you're not too sure about. Check your dictionary, push yourself. And I wouldn't really tell beginners to do that completely as yet, because you're not fully accustomed with the vocabulary as yet in Spanish in general. So I wouldn't really advise beginners per se to do that, okay? I'm not telling you to go crazy and go change your phone and your phone lock up on you, okay? Don't let your phone shut down on you because of Andreca. No. No, I'm just saying it's a challenge for especially those who are already in progress with learning it and have a good grasp so far. So guys, thanks for tuning in, and those are my tips. I tried to be as detailed as possible. I tried to, explain as best as I could to get you guys to understand and get on the way of learning Spanish by these tips and these everyday tips basically, because as I said, these are my personal tips that I've been living by for years now, and they've been working for me so far. Get to really involved with the language, get to involved with Spanish, and I hope it works out for you guys. I hope that you try out these tips, at least one or a few over the time, and they will work for you guys as well. So thanks for tuning in. Ciao and take care, guys.